everyone, I'm back again, and today's video is going to be my January wrap up, and let's have a look at my February TBR. Now to start off, this month I read Blood Games. I received this last year when it came out. I hadn't read it, unfortunately, until this month, and I'm so glad I did because it was so good. Oh, I can't wait for the next one that's coming out next month. I've already pre-ordered it. Hopefully Book Depository sends it soon. I love Merritt's adventure. It's a urban paranormal fantasy kind of thing. It takes place in, you know, our current world, only if there were vampires and if they had come out of the coffin, basically. And there's a whole entire supernatural community. It all takes place in Chicago. There's just really big, crazy events that take place in this city, and it's a lot of fun and a lot of humor, and it's great how Merritt tries to handle it all. If you like anything about modern heroines or anything, then give Merritt a try. She'll definitely surprise you. I really enjoy the series and I recommend it to a lot of people. I'm pretty sure I gave this one a 4 or 5 stars on Goodreads. So you can tell that I really love the Chicagoland Vampire series. Chloe Neill is fantastic. Now my next book was part of my TBR Jar challenge. I had to read a book that was gifted or recommended to me, and I chose Hush Hush by Becca Fitzpatrick. I got this one years ago when I was younger from Dimmicks, and I never got to read it. I finally did get to read it though, and I already bought the next 2 books in this series. I probably won't get to them anytime soon, but I really did enjoy this one. It was so good. It's got kind of a love triangle in it. It has some funny bits in it. I think though I would have enjoyed it a lot more if I had read this years ago, back in my Twilight years, and unfortunately, I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have back then. The story was really good. It is enjoyable. If you like Twilight, you probably will like this. I don't see the similarity. I don't know why people say that there is similarities in this to Twilight. I really don't get the comparison that people make sometimes. I don't understand it. I've read some books that are very similar to Twilight, and really this really wasn't. But I think that people who have read Twilight will probably like this one. Can't say about the rest of the series because I haven't read it yet. I think I gave this one a 4 star on Goodreads. I really did like it. I just think I would have liked it if I'd read it if I was a little bit younger. But yes, I finally got to read this one, so hooray for TBR Jar. Next one I was hunting for a very long time, and I went out with my family. We went shopping in Norwood on the Parade. And there's a store called Dillion's, which is like a family-owned bookstore, and they have an amazing range. They have so many more books than what QBD has, and I'm so happy I finally got to pick this one out, and it was Poison Princess by Kresley. I bought it that day and ended up going home and reading it the exactly same day. I really enjoyed it. It was so good. This first book, it wasn't what I was expecting. I have heard some mixed things about this entire series, but I really did like the first book. The ending was so good. Just how she built up to it was pretty good. I really enjoyed it. I think this is for more mature people. I mean, Kresley Cole does write a more adult series as well. Some of the humour and some of the content in this is probably aimed for people who are a little bit more mature. But overall, it was really good, and it really shocked me, and I'm shocked at how much I liked it. I gave it a 4 stars on Goodreads. I really enjoyed it. Then after I finished this one, I just had to get the next book, and I went searching for that like everywhere because nowhere had it. Finally found it, and it was The Endless Night. This one I kind of mixed on it. I did like it. It was really good. It was a little different to the first because the first one builds up quite a bit. This one is just a lot of action and adventure, and it was so good too. I just loved that part of it. The only thing is I just didn't agree with some of the stuff. Some of the things came on a little bit too fast, I think. Some of the ways the character Avalon kind of dealt with things, I it just frustrated me at points. I just wanted to honestly slap her across the face. But it was good. I enjoyed how they introduced some new characters into it. I read this as soon as I could get my hands on it, and I read it in about a day. It was pretty good. The ending where it left off was kind of a cliffhanger, so of course I had to go and find the third book. And when I found this one, I started reading it, read it again in about a day. It was really good. I had assumed that this series was going to be a trilogy because it's what most book series are, I guess, are sometimes trilogies. I made that incorrection when I finally finished this book because it is a huge cliffhanger at the end. It was completely unfair, and I realise now that I have to wait an entire year, or probably more, for the fourth book now. And after reading this one, I really wanted to throw it so badly. I was that angry, and I had some pretty bad words to say out loud. Luckily I was reading this safely in the sanctuary of my own room. But this was a really good book. I'm glad that it didn't end because there's a lot of questions that came up in it afterwards. So I was a bit worried when I was getting closer to the end, thinking that it was going to be the final book, but it wasn't. So I probably should have taken that hint at that point. But I didn't, and this one was really good. It had a lot of adventure in it as well. I gave all the series a 4 stars so far. It again kind of annoyed me at some parts with this time with the romantic aspect. Evie again kind of I just really wanted to strangle her in this one at some points. I mean, it was like whiplash at some points with her and her mood swings and who she does and doesn't want. I have to say though, I do love Jack, and I do kind of love Death as well in his own weird, sadistic way. I do kind of like him. I really do like this series. I'm going to continue on with this series. I don't know how many more books are going to be because it's now 4 books apparently, and I don't think it's going to be ending there. The series is called The Arcana Chronicles, and yeah, I really enjoyed this one, so I'm glad that I read these. I didn't plan on reading these. I just, as soon as I had seen the first one, I read it because I've been waiting for it for so long. Once I read it, I needed the rest of the series immediately, and trying to hunt these down was not easy. But I finally did. I got to read them. I think overall I read these 3 books in 3 days, a day per book. Yeah, I read these in about 3 days. This series is about the trump cards of the Tarot deck, hence the Arcana. And yeah, these trump cards have to fight to the death every certain amount of centuries. They have to fight to the death, and there's only one victor at the end, and that victor gets to live until the next games. The flashbacks are brilliant. I love it when it gets to the flashbacks. It's so good. So I have to say, if you're looking for another dystopian, paranormal, supernatural kind of series, I recommend this one. This one's really good, but again, it's more mature content, but it really does deserve the 4 stars that I gave it. And finally, I got to complete a part of my books that I've already started and haven't completed yet pile. And I finally got to finish The Infinite Sea by Yancey. This one took me probably 2 days to finish. I only had a little bit left, but I was kind of busy during that time. I only had about half of it left, I think. And I thought that the second half was probably going to try and pick up, and it did. At the very end it did. However, I did find it was just slightly slow when it splits in this one. I had trouble trying to follow along with the second half. I am going to continue on with the series when the 3rd book comes out, which I'm not quite sure when that is. I think that's later on in the year, but I am looking forward to that 3rd book. I don't know, I have some questions about this one. I mean, the ending really shocked me. I didn't see that coming, and that was cool where that was going. Unfortunately, it ended at that point. But some characters, I like seeing their points of view more than others, and I just didn't really I don't like Ringer. I really don't. I don't like Ringer. She kind of annoys me. If it was just Cassie, I could mind that, because she's kind of funny and weird and awkward at times. But Ringer, no, I don't like Ringer. I really don't. But yes, I finally got to finish that one. So now that can go back on my bookshelf because it's been sitting away from its first book for a very long time. Now's the point where I get to do my February TBR. And to start off with, I think you may have noticed from my previous video, if you've watched that I haven't finished 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. I love Claudia Gray's Overnight series and I really wanted to like this one, but I just haven't been able to get into it. I've only read like that much, it's not much, and I will read it. I am going to finish it next month, I hope. I just haven't been able to get into the groove of it. I'll read it when I feel like I want to read it. I don't want to push myself to read it because then I won't enjoy it, and that's not how you read a book. I will finish it at some point. Unfortunately, it might get put on my pile of books that I've started and haven't finished, but I am going to finish it, hopefully, and I can't wait. The second cover just got revealed and I posted that on my Instagram if you haven't seen it yet, and I believe it got posted to my Twitter as well, so you should check out that cover. It looks so pretty, and if you want to know what the title is, you have to go look at that cover. But oh, this book is so stunning and the other cover looks so cool too. But yes, I am going to finish this one, and I'm telling you, it's not bad. I just haven't been able to get into it yet, and I will, I promise you. So I can't wait to finish this one. That's going to be my first one on my February TBR. Next book I also picked up at Dillion's when I went to Norwood, and that was These Broken Stars by Amie Kaufman and Meagan Spooner. It's part of the Starbound trilogy. The second book just came out the end of last year sometime, a couple months ago I think, and it's called This Shattered World, and the cover's really pretty, and I've been wanting to read this series for a really long time, and I just couldn't find the first book. I had the second book, I just couldn't find the first book, and I couldn't find it anywhere. And when I went to Dillion's, guess what was there? This book. So I got it. I'm so excited. And I've already started reading it, and I am about, where is my bookmark? More than halfway through. It's a little bit over halfway, so I've got that much to go. And it's really good. I like how at the beginning of each chapter it has like an interview or interrogation going on, and then it leads to the character reminiscing and retelling the events of what had happened, but then at the end of the chapter it's like back to the interrogation again, and oh, it's so good. I love how it's just done, and I think I'm really going to enjoy this one, and I can't wait to read the next one afterwards, but it's not in my TBR pile, so don't get your hopes up, people. It's not in my TBR pile. Maybe the month after, but it's not in my TBR pile because I got a few other books I need to read first. And I'm going to complete this one in February. Next one to cut down, hopefully, on my books that I've already read and haven't completed is Opposition by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I started this one a while back, and I just put it down, and so now I'm going to finish it this month. It's going to be added to the pile. Next book I borrowed from the library, and it's another one that I've been wanting to read for a really long time. I returned my library books last month, and as I returned them, I kind of browsed and ended up finding another book, even though my TBR pile is shocking. The book that I borrowed from the library was Avalon by Mindee Arnett. I think that's how you say her name. Can't really see it very well. But yes, I believe this is a space voyager kind of book. I've heard some pretty good things about it. I'm going to read it. The second book, Polaris, comes out end of this month, sometime during this month, or maybe beginning of next month, I think. And that one looks pretty cool too, so I thought I should probably read the first one, and then I can hopefully get to the next one. It's supposed to be a duology, so there's only 2 books in this series. But yeah, I'm quite looking forward to reading this one before I return at the end of the month. And if I like it, I'm going to be purchasing both of them. So that's another one added to my TBR pile. Now that I've shown you all the pre-selected books for this month, I am also going to do my TBR Jar challenge. So let's see what I get picked from that one. Let's see. Let's take a lid off. Put the lid up there. See there. Shake, 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 shake. See. What am I going to get? Oh, a small one. What's this one? To complete a series. to complete a series. Which book? I'll be back. Now the book that I've chosen for the TBR Jar challenge, which is the challenge is to complete a series, I've chosen Dead Ever After by Charlaine Harris. I had this one for a while since it first came out. I just haven't read it. I've read the entire rest of the series. I just had this one to go. I don't know why I didn't read it when I got it. I just left it there. But I'm going to complete it for this month. It's obviously because it's part of my challenge. So I'm going to complete it sometime this month. And then I can put it back on the shelf for the rest of the series. Now that I've shown you my January books that I read and my February TBR, it's that time where the video ends. So let me know in the comments below all the books that I have shown you, if the ones that I have read, if you want to know more about them. I'll leave links below for you to look at them, or you can discuss them in the comments, I don't mind. And also, if you want to talk about any of the books that I'm going to read and what your opinions of them, I like to hear those as well. So just comment those below as well. Or you can contact me on any of my social medias, which are also below in the description. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye!